In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 tips to pass the PQIP application. If you don't know what PQIP is, it is the Trainee Probation Officer scheme, and I know that loads of you have been waiting for this to come out because I've been receiving all your messages on Instagram. Go and follow me there, how to be a probation officer. But yes, if you won't know, the application has opened up now in several areas, and it may be opening up in your area right now. So it's such a good time to share the top tips for your PQIP application. And if you're watching this and you are going into criminology jobs that's not probation, these will still apply to you. So if you're doing forensic psychology or criminology, criminal justice, then still stick around for this. So welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah Edwards, and I worked as a probation officer and I worked in the Ministry of Justice for over 10 years. So I share stuff for you so you can just see the real side of what it's like being a probation officer, which will help you massively when it comes to applying. I share loads of tips, so make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be the first to get those tips among all the other people. Okay, let me get into tip 1. When you are applying for your probation officer application, make sure you gather everything first. You don't want to be sitting down and then thinking, oh yeah, I need to get everything ready, because that's brain energy. You might have to think, right, is it on my old laptop? Is it on my student email? Is it on a bit of paper over there? So maybe even have a day or a separate time where you're like, okay, what do I need so that I can apply? And what you're going to need is tip 2, your CV. You want to have your CV prepped. So what I tell my students who work with me on my coaching programs is your CV needs to be an ongoing rolling document. Don't just do it after uni and then be done with it. You can always be improving it and updating it, and the most successful people already have that ready. So again, it's about, where is your energy going? You don't want your energy going into, oh, now you have to look back at your CV and you realise you haven't got your GCSE results in there, or you haven't got your uni result in there, or you've done some volunteering since and it's not in there and you now need to find the contact details. That's just energy put in other areas when really you just want to focus on doing the application form. That is tip number 2. Make sure that your CV is prepped. Tip number 3, you really want to be careful who you're sharing this information with. And by that, what I mean is, you don't need to tell everybody, friends, family, neighbours, the dog, that you're applying for this. Why? Because people are energy. People's energy is going to feed into yours. You might tell people, oh, I'm applying for this probation officer job, and they'll be like, what, you? Are you sure? Are you ready for this? Are you this? Are you that? And you're going to get all their limiting beliefs projected onto you, and that is going to really impact you when you are trying to write your application. So just keep it to yourself. Just get your head down and write your application. You don't need to be telling everybody. Tell them once you've got the job, or tell one person that you really trust. You don't need to let other people's opinions, ideas and beliefs get into your mind. Tip number 4, again, all of these tips are stuff that I share with my students in my coaching program. Have a nice reward at the end, because let's face it, doing application forms, okay, it might be exciting because you're like, yeah, I'm actually like following my dream, but that can take it out of you as well, can take your energy out of you. But they can also be long and boring, and with long and boring things we want to distract ourselves, look at our phone, do something else, and really this is a time where you want to be focused. What you can do is just give yourself a nice reward. If you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do my application form tonight, have a nice dinner afterwards, treat yourself to a takeaway, have a nice bath, have a chocolate, go out with friends after. Whatever it is that you like to do to reward yourself, do your application, then have your reward. And it's important to attach a reward to things, because it's gonna just fill you with that nice sense of accomplishment and, yeah, I've done something. Because it's so important in life to like congratulate yourself. Even though you haven't got the job, congratulate yourself, like, yes, I sat down, I've done this, well done. Tip number 5, give yourself the permission to invest in yourself. Now, how often do we hear people actually say that to us? It's really, really important. You are investing in yourself. by doing this application form, as much as it may seem long, tiring and all the negative things, think of you are investing in your future self, and your future self will thank you for this. So use this time this week, if you are watching this and you're doing your application or it's coming up in the future, now is the time to say no to people. If you know you've got a couple of days to do it and your friends are asking you to go out, or family asking you to take on extra duties that week, or you've been asked to do extra hours, come back, focus and think, would my future self want me to focus, or would they want me to be distracted? You really want to be focused on just doing this application. Tip number 6 for when you're doing your probation officer job applications. Think about your environment and your space. For me, this is really important. If you are in a cluttered space, that's going to be a distraction for you to go and tidy something, put something away, or getting that negative thought trap of, oh, I haven't done the washing today, or oh, I hate the place that I'm living, and then you'll start going on Rightmove looking for a new house. Do you know what I mean? You want nothing to distract you, so have a clean area, a clean space, so that you can just focus on that. Don't multitask. You don't want to be doing this job application while you are at work in your other job, half on this screen, half on the other screen, because you're fully not going to be focused for that. Don't be doing it while these are maybe obvious, but I feel like you need to hear it, while you're watching TV or trying to cook dinner for the kids and then you end up burning the rice. Just like put time aside for focusing on this. Tip number 7. I've already spoken about getting your CV prepped, but the difference with the probation officer trainee application form is there are a lot of documents with it. What I mean by that is they won't actually ask you for your CV, by the way. You'll just be using that so that you can get through the application form quicker when it asks you for GCSEs, exam results, etc., name, address, blah blah blah. But when you apply for the job, it will have with it associated documents. So it will have with it civil service success profiles, which outline how to best answer the questions. It's like guidance. I always tell my students, it's like essay guidance. It's there, so use it. They're giving you a massive help by having the documents there. Then have the job description, so make sure you familiarise yourself with that. It'll be like the recruitment pack, so job description and that. I think that's it. There may be something else. But what I'm essentially saying is, make sure you gather all those documents before. If you're the kind of person that needs it printed off, read it, print it off. If you need to highlight that, highlight that. If you're happy with it being online, make sure you have it online and close all the other windows. Like I've said before, a lot of the stuff given by the HMPPS is very text heavy, so you might want to just break down some bullet points, because for me especially, for me to understand something, I don't just need to read it, I need to like read it and write it, and then I've comprehended it. So you may be the same and want to just write a couple of notes out. Tip number 8, which is my favourite tip, go through all my YouTube videos and take notes, because so many people have messaged me or left comments to say, thank you so much for your videos, I got through the PQIP just by watching your videos. So be that person that takes notes. Last tip, once you've handed it in, between then and waiting to hear back, I don't know what you are like, but sometimes a lot of us are then focused on that, thinking, checking your emails 1,000 times, constantly thinking about that, and you know, you don't want to be constantly in that state. So from the moment you hand it in till whenever you hear back, focus on small wins every day. This is something I do anyway, this is something I encourage my students to do. Focus on the wins for the day. That doesn't have to be related to career, to probation, to your job. Just focus on the small wins, because that's going to get you thinking and being more grateful for the position that you are in right now. So I hope that you found these tips useful. Make sure that you check out the links below. It's got information about my probation program, so you can join the wait list, because that is coming out soon, where I help you actually refine your skills and really prepare for all steps in the application process. And I will see you in the next video with loads more tips again.